Welcome to Best Wellness Interviews, where I interview successful people on their strategies and lifestyles so that you can learn something that's going to work for you. I'm Kristine Best. I am a wellness strategist and I am your host today. And my guest on my show today is Adele Bernard. Welcome to my show, Adele.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
I'm excited to interview you because you've got an interesting approach to your work. And what I would like you to do, if you don't mind, is to introduce yourself so that our viewers know who you are and what you do.
Okay. So, Adele Bernard, my company's Transition Clarity, and I'm what I call a soul strategist, intuitive guide. What does that mean? It means I assist people in walking themselves home in the crossroads of life, whether that is divorce or losing a loved one, or you got the dreaded pink slip. How do you pick up the pieces at that crossroads to move forward, to know that there's a better, not a better path, a new path opening? And it's in these times of challenge that, um, as my background shows, I'm the lighthouse. I come to shine the light, to know that it might be a little dark right now. You might not know how to move forward, but you're not alone,
Hmm.
and you're never alone. And it's just, walking yourself home to the essence of who you were born to be.
Yes, I
So,
love that saying, the essence of you, because I've written about that exactly in my book, because the
mhm.
essence of you is always there. It just gets muddied because of stuff that happens in life and you lose track of it. You can't see it clearly.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, you need somebody at various times in your life. We all need somebody at some time.
Mhm.
And it's really good to know that there are people out there who can shed a little light on your path so that you can see it. And
And that's what I'm here for.
yes, that's awesome. And so, what got you into that? I'd be very interested to know why you got onto this path and when that happened to you.
Well, I have a unique journey. I knew I was different at the age of 3. Um, I knew I had intuitive gifts but couldn't explain it. And I also didn't really start talking till I was about 4, because I didn't know that I wasn't talking to the earthly people, because I was always talking to God and to the, yeah, primarily God. And then at the age of 5, I said, I want to come home. I don't like it here. And I
Yeah.
was told, but you chose to come. And I'm like, no, I didn't. It's not fun here. And so as I grew up, I mean, teenage years are hard enough, let alone having visions and could, know things before they happened. I always knew that there was a purpose, that I was here. And whether I knew you or I didn't know you, people ended up in front of me, because I realized very young that I was a guiding light for people. And God worked through this vessel. And um, yeah, and so I've done lots and lots of crazy things for work, but I also know that, I had a company that I did energetic clearings for the home, because whether it's good talk, bad talk, whatever happens in a home, that energy gets stuck just like it
Mm,
does in our bodies.
mm,
And then I was guided to make this company, to bring it more that people had to come and stay in their body, because when you're on that health journey, it's really easy to kind of jump out of our bodies. It's too hard to be in our bodies,
I
right?
think life actually distracts people and they disconnect from themselves.
Yeah.
Is because I
And I'm
talk about
saying,
that in the book, my book, and
yeah,
that I want to bring people back to connect with themselves. Because,
yeah,
so, for example, a mother is busy with the family. She's
hmm,
looking after the kids. She's looking after her husband. She's doing the housework. She's probably got a part-time job, or she might have a full-time job. She's a busy woman. And
yeah,
so she is forgetting about herself and neglecting her own needs. So
yeah,
is disconnected from what she, or her true essence of herself. She's neglecting herself. And that leads to unwellness,
yeah,
mentally and physically, right? So that's a simple example of how life distracts people. And they just
hmm,
get on this, like the fast train, and they're whizzing through life, just doing this stuff, but have disconnected from who they are. What do you think about that?
well, and like it also works like for people with trauma,
Yep.
um, and the men who were told you go and do this and you bring home the proverbial bacon, right?
Mm, mm.
And and then all of a sudden they wake up at 50 and go, who am I?
Yeah,
Right?
right.
Like an
Exactly.
accountant who should have been a musician,
Yep.
or an engineer who truly was an artist, but
Mm.
he wasn't allowed to be,
Yep. Exactly.
right? And so my way of looking at it as is I walk you home to you.
Mm.
I say, let's get rid of the beliefs, the conditionings, and truths, the stories that you've been told that you are and you're not.
Yeah, exactly.
And um,
So it's
I
the
find,
values from
well, and I
from
find the work is very healing and cathartic. Like it's like when people go through that journey and they go, I've never felt this.
mm,
They've never felt that embrace that something bigger, something more is here to embrace them, to say, you're never alone,
mm. Yeah,
right?
that's a big comfort to people,
Hmm.
and it allows them to relax
Hmm.
so that you can actually then help them,
Hmm.
help them see. It's not like you tell them what to do. It's like you
Oh,
help
no,
them.
no, no. I make people very aware that I am here as your guide for you to see
That's
your
right.
true self,
Exactly. It's so
right?
it's so empowering for them to
Hmm.
discover it themselves.
Well, if they like, this is why talk therapy doesn't really work. Not
Mm.
to offend anyone that does it, but it's like if you're always going and telling them, well, this is your next step, this is your next step, and then they go,
They haven't learned anything.
they haven't learned how to do it themselves.
That's right.
Yes, it keeps you in business,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah.
like I'm not. I would rather like let them come into the sacred circle, and as community, we work together
Yep. Yep.
and we hold each other accountable and love on each other. So then we can do the next group,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, this is a problem with the way society has gone. It's people have become insular, and they've
Hmm.
not gotten into community because people don't trust anyone anymore, and so they just stick to themselves, and community has disappeared. I feel it's coming back now because people need it. People really need it, and people thrive when they belong to a group of others who are like-minded.
Hmm. But it's even so much that, you know, who's going to pull together after a tragedy? It's the
Mm,
community, right?
yes, you need
But
community. Yep.
we've been so insular that people have lived in communities for 15 years and don't know their neighbors.
Yep, that's
Couldn't
right.
tell you what car they drive, let alone
Mhm.
what they look like. And
Yep.
I'm like, that's crazy. But yet, if a fire happened or a flood happened, you'd be out there working with the
Helping.
neighbors.
Yes, you
And I'm
would.
saying, let's not wait till the flood or the fire and go meet your neighbors,
Yeah,
right? I'm not saying
yeah,
you have to be best friends, but just know your neighbors,
that's right.
right? And yeah, like I'm not saying I know my neighbors well, but I'd recognize them in the grocery store.
Yeah.
I'd
Well,
say
that's right.
hi, Happy New Year.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. And you can have
yeah,
a brief conversation with them, so you know
yeah,
them well enough for that. And they're
yeah,
friendly back to you, and that's the
yeah.
kind of relationship you want. You don't want to, because what happens if you suddenly have a need, like something went wrong in your life and you needed the
Hmm.
help of your neighbors? Well, if you don't know them,
Hmm.
how are you going to go and say, I need your help? They're going to go, go find someone else.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's like
yeah.
yeah, you need to be, what's the word? It's like you need to be happy enough in yourself that you
Hmm.
are worthy to be known by these people and they are
Hmm.
worthy to be known by you.
But it's even taking it down to you're going to the market to get your groceries, and the clerk, who knows, having a bad day, whatever, you come in, you say hello and how are you? And then by the time you checked your groceries out, you get this big smile and a huge thank you for being the best customer. Because now she's ready
Yeah,
to go to her family and be in a better space.
yeah, yeah. If
And
everybody
that's the
was,
biggest thing is we
yeah,
never know what the hello or the smile or how are you doing is doing for the person.
show a little kindness.
Yeah. And
That's,
I think that's what we got to get back more than anything
yeah.
is
You just never know what a
humanity's
smile
forgot.
might do for someone.
Yeah. Humanity's forgotten what it is to be human, to be kind,
I agree.
to be
And the
considerate.
more we are on this technological and digital path, the worse that's going to be. Because people are in this artificial space and they're not in a natural environment anymore. So they're losing touch with the natural, they're losing touch with themselves and what it really is like to have relationships, close
Yes
relationships,
and no. I think AI is making us ask better questions
possibly.
to drill down to get better understanding of what like I used to like when I first started using AI, I was like, this is stupid. I'm getting pages and pages of garbage. Like I don't need it to spit out all this stuff.
Hmm.
Then I started saying, okay, I want short, concise statements. And I started putting really tight parameters on it. Then I
Hmm.
started saying, well, just don't, short and concise. If you don't know something, ask me questions,
It's
like
all about
drill
the
down.
questions you ask,
Yeah.
for sure,
And
and how you ask them. Yeah.
it's been a game changer.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And you can train AI, same as you can actually train people. You can ask them questions that open up pathways in their mind to allow them to make better choices because they have better understanding of things and they have
Yeah.
more brain power to actually think differently and get out of the rut that they've been in, because that's why people stay where they are, because they're stuck in a rut, right? And you
Mhm.
just want to shift them out of that a little so that they can
Well,
think
and
differently.
and um speaking of AI, I that's how I came up with the word crossroads,
Hmm.
because a rut, being stuck, like felt heavy and negative to me.
Hmm.
And so when I was starting to do marketing or whatever, I'm like, what's a word? And then I kept on saying crossroads, and X's. I'm like, oh, cool, right?
That's a good description. I like that. I noticed that when you first mentioned it, because that is
Yeah.
what life is. Stuff happens across your path all the time to
Mm-hmm.
pull you away, to distract you, to make you meander or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so they can drag you away from who you are.
Well, and you talk about being out in nature, right? There's not a path out there in the world that doesn't have a fork sometime. You might
It's
not
true.
drive you might not walk that far down that path, but someone will, and they
Yeah,
have the decision, left
that's
or
right. Your
right,
life is about decisions. Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And no decision is bad because you can always make another decision
That's
in
right. You can
10
always
seconds,
react to that, or
right?
not react, respond to that situation
Yeah.
by making a better decision to pull you back to where you want to be. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not like, okay, well, we decide to go right. Well, 5 steps into that turning right down the path, and you go, I don't think so. And
Mm.
you just back it up and let's go left.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not like you made the decision and you never can make a decision again. It's like you
Yeah.
just keep moving.
And sometimes people get to a point where they don't make a decision because they don't know which one to make. Well, that's also a decision.
Yeah. No decision is a decision.
Yes. And it's not
And
necessarily a good one.
well, but
Sometimes waiting is a good thing because clarity can come by
that's
waiting.
a decision,
It is a decision. And sometimes it's a good
right?
one.
But
Yeah.
if you're not knowing that you're choosing to wait, that means the indecision is keeping you in that crossroads,
Mm, mm,
right?
yep.
But if you say, well, you're in this crossroads and you have to make a decision, and if I just go, no, I don't want to, you know, I'm avoiding it, right? Or I'm choosing not to make the decision, which isn't a decision in itself, or I'm going to make the decision to wait for better guidance,
Mm,
higher guidance, right?
mm,
Like, I might not be like, maybe, I'm supposed to be doing this speakers event, and it's like, well, I feel I want to. Do I have all the information? And do I feel supported by God? If I don't, if there's a hesitation in any of those questions, maybe next time.
mm.
This time I'm going to pass, maybe next time.
Yeah.
Or I
Well,
take the time, if I have the time, to say, let me get back to you because I have stuff in my body saying there's hesitation. What is it?
mm,
Right? Because the body's always speaking.
yeah.
We're not listening all the time.
That's right. But then there's
Yeah.
pressures of other people's expectations, and people are saying to you, look, you need to you don't want to wait too long because there's no you can't be perfect. You can't get perfect. Nothing's ever
No.
perfect because things change, and then what you prepare is not right anyway, and you've still got to change. So at some point, you've got to act on whatever it is you need to act on.
Well, I know, but it's having that ability to say, can I get back to you in 10 minutes, in an hour, in
Yeah,
24 hours?
yeah.
To give your body time to listen to the advice that it's trying to say to you. What are you feeling? Are you feeling that that host of that isn't really your fit?
Mm,
Or no, maybe they're your fit, but the stage, who they have on the stage with you,
mm.
maybe not, maybe. Or maybe you just got too much on your plate right now that one more stage, as much as it'd be glorious, too much.
Yeah, yeah. You've got to
You know?
do what's right for you. And the thing
Yeah.
is that when people say to you, you need to act on this now, make a decision, well, that creates hustle. And people are being hustled and pushed along this, to make decisions and do stuff
Yeah.
before they're ready. And then they
Hmm.
burn out. And
Yeah.
so sometimes making that decision to pull back and just wait a bit and yeah, get
Hmm.
some clarity on the situation and then knowing or get some advice, then you know
Hmm.
what you should be doing a whole lot better than what you did before. So then you're in a better place to make a decision as to what you want to do and move forward
Well,
on.
and in my life, the person that's trying to push me to go down the path, well, come on, make a decision. But and I go, no, no. If you're not going to give me the grace of having space to make the decision, it's no,
I don't want to work with you
right?
because
Because
yeah.
yeah, like you're not understanding who I am and what I bring to the table.
Hmm.
And you know, I wait to respond.
Yes.
If I'm
Yeah.
forced to respond, it's no.
Well, that's right. It's got to be right for you,
Yeah,
and people should not be forcing uh, their expectations on you.
yeah.
They need to
And then,
respect you, and that's
yeah.
another aspect of community that has deteriorated to some degree because respect people are just all about themselves and they're not respecting others, and
Hmm.
so we need to get this community back where
Hmm.
we have this better environment because even to raise a child, you need a community to raise it. You don't just
Hmm.
raise it in the family unit. What do you say about
People
that?
nowadays think they do.
Well, they do, and I think
And I'm like,
children,
no.
yeah, I think children today are at a disadvantage compared to when I was a kid, and probably when you were a kid. It
Oh,
was,
absolutely.
mm,
Like just the other day I ran into a schoolmate from primary school and we got talking about, playing until it got dark, right? And and she says, "Oh, we always knew when you guys had to go home." And I said, "What do you mean?" "We heard your dad's whistle." Because my dad
ah,
could whistle really far, right? And it's like,
okay.
"Oh, dinner's on the table. See ya." Right? And so that's something that she remembered for 40 years,
Wow. Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And then
We
it
did
was funny
we
because
did used to play after
recently,
dark till dark. We did play it
yeah,
till dark.
recently I was in a store and all of a sudden I heard this whistle. And both my mom and I looked and were like, "That's our whistle." And this lady's shaking her head. She goes, "I hate when he does that." And I go, "Oh, we're totally fine with it. We grew up with it."
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right? And yeah, and so we all had our own whistle. Like, but it's part of the community, right? So once we were whistled to come home, that meant all the other kids were going, "Oh, it must be dinner time."
Yeah, we all better
Right?
go. Yeah, that's
Whoever
right.
whoever got called first, we went, "Ah, okay." Right? It must be dinner
Yep.
time or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's
It's
the
di
thing that, like
it's a
you talk
different
about
world now.
the kids nowadays, they can't
Yeah.
walk down the street.
No.
They're so overscheduled, so overstimulated, um,
Yeah.
and they don't even read anymore. Like I was listening to, oh, I can't remember, but they're saying that um, readership was never great. Like
Mm.
maybe a 65% people read books. Now it's in the 20s,
Is that right?
right? And
Mm.
I'm like, that means they're only reading emails or like very little stuff. That means they don't
Mm.
have the attention span to get through a book.
Yeah, and not only that, that limits their creativity because reading
Yeah.
books open up your mind to possibilities and other
Yeah.
ideas, and it stokes your creativity.
Well, and even I caught myself the other day. I was watching this movie and I'm like, this seems familiar, but these characters don't seem familiar. And then I'm
Mm.
like, but I kind of know what's going to happen. But the actors did not seem familiar. It wasn't until the end credits that I'm like, oh, I read the book. I had a totally different picture in my head of what they all looked like,
Oh, okay. So the
right? But
movie was quite different to the book.
no, it was no the book. The story was perfectly aligned, but
Oh,
my
okay.
picture of what the characters looked like weren't what they
Oh, okay.
casted,
I see. Oh, okay.
right? And normally I would catch it right away. I'm like, this is boggling because I read the book so many years ago.
Right. So you
Didn't
had a
even
different
know it
idea
went
back
into a
then.
movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Okay.
And I was like, cool. I'm glad this movie came out. It ended up it was good. So,
Well, it's interesting because it shows that your perceptions change
hmm.
over time.
Well, and a lot of people are now starting to talk about the butterfly effect,
Yes,
right?
that's an
And
interesting concept. Yeah.
well, I know, but the person, Robert Edward Grant, was talking about it, and he was correlating it to the Burning Man that happens in California every year. And the Burning Man was basically started for these people like Robert Edward Grant and big money people and trying to figure out how society works on a smaller scale, right? It wasn't just like come pitch your tent and we'll have art things, right? And he was saying that the last few Burning Mans, like he was like, are we having a live butterfly effect? And people are like, what are you talking about? He goes, yesterday that was not there. Like I would swear on my life that was not there.
Hmm.
And yet it's here. And then he's like, I did sleep, didn't I? And so he starts in his mind going, did everyone change everything when I went to bed last night? He doesn't know.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
And I think it's
I see the
interesting.
butterfly effect as somebody does one small thing here
Hmm.
and it flutters through time and
Hmm.
people, it ripples out
Hmm.
and affects so many people
Yeah.
later on. The benefits
And
flow.
and I also knew a guy who actually went to the movie The Butterfly Effect back,
Mm.
I don't know, 25, 30 years ago. And he's out of work for 5 days. And I'm like, from a movie. He goes, it wasn't a movie. They butterflied you. Like
Butterflied
they
you.
literally lost, they couldn't get their equilibrium.
Mm.
Everything was constantly shifting.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like thinking, you're kind of crazy, but it kind of made sense.
Yeah, I guess there are different events in life that can affect people.
Hmm.
And there are some events that actually pull the rug out from under you because it shows you that all your beliefs were lies. And
Yeah.
that now you've got to suddenly change the belief system you had. And
Mm.
that is a massive life-changing event.
I think that's where we're at now as a world. We're
Yeah,
at a crossroads
a,
of
a massive crossroad.
questioning
Yeah.
everything.
Well,
What you thought
yeah,
was true, maybe
it's
not.
not. Well, that's right. That's true. And I can see a lot of problems in this world, and people are, I mean, there's a lot of pressure on people with, wars, threats of wars,
Hmm.
uncertainty for the future, um, inflation, the cost of
Hmm.
petrol now, and that'll affect all the food prices and everything else. And people are already
Yeah,
tightening their budgets, now they've got to tighten them more. And that actually means they can't really live how they want to live. And so that's uncertainty
I
and
know, but okay.
but there are good
Follow,
things come from
follow,
that.
follow, follow me down the rabbit hole because I just gotta go.
Sure. Yeah.
So the outside world is saying there's restriction, there's da 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 da, right? The since 2026, I keep on saying to people, who cares what the outside world's saying? Come home to you, come home to your heart where God lives.
Well, that's
Is
it.
I know,
Yeah.
is there scarcity in God's life? No. Is there sickness in God's life? No. Is there war in God's life? No. So is the outside world happening? Maybe, maybe not. But
That's
inside,
yeah.
I'm with God. I'm with God. There's no scarcity. There's no like
I would agree with
like
that.
and every time I get to pay a bill or I get to put gas in my car, I'm like so blessed because abundance is here paying for it. I'm
Yeah,
not saying I know what's going to happen next week. Next week looks after itself. But today, I was able to put gas in my car, or I'd put a meal on my table. I have a roof. I'm beyond blessed. And before we even got into this conversation, and you're saying about going to these villages that don't even have a floor, they're living on the dirt, but they're
yeah, yeah.
blessed
That's right.
because they have a roof over their head where some people don't.
Yeah, so for the viewers, we were having a
Yeah.
conversation before we started recording
Yeah.
this interview. Yeah, and we were talking about people in Vanuatu in particular, places in Vanuatu where people are living out in the jungle and out in
Yeah.
the sticks. And they have very rudimentary buildings and they have a very simple lifestyle, but everybody's happy
Yeah.
and they
Well,
make do with everything. Yeah,
and it's just like how you were talking about when you were there and word traveled, like, come, we're here, like whoever wants to come and join us in the celebration.
yeah,
And Matthew McConaughey says the same thing. He was back in the Amazon jungle on his walkabout, because he does that every once in a while, and all of a sudden the villages were rumbling. Who's the white man that's come to the village?
mm.
They don't have cell phones.
No, but they have bush
They have a
telegraph.
vibration that
Yeah,
goes through the original internet of the trees to
right.
say, there's a person you might want to come visit, right?
I do agree with that. There is an energy because human beings are full of energy. We
Hmm.
are biological, but we're also bioelectrical, biomechanical, you know what I mean? And biochemical, we're
Yeah.
bio everything. And so if electricity flows through our nervous system, we are energy.
Hmm.
And you can feel people's energy when you're with them. You can like them or not, or feel, not sure about that person.
Yeah.
But so we have a certain energy, and that is conveyed.
Well, and I always say, if you have animals around, believe them. If a dog or a cat doesn't want to go to somebody, believe them. That
Because they
person's
know that
not crucial.
they can read people's energy.
Yeah.
Dogs
And it
know.
was and it was interesting because as a child I had animals, but I didn't realize until I didn't have animals how allergic I was to them.
Oh, okay.
And then I'd be like, go over to people's houses and they'd be like, "Are you okay with the dog?" And I said, "Yeah, I just can't touch them." And they're like, "What?" And I go, "Because if I touch them, then I touch my face and then I'm done, right? So I'm
Yeah.
okay." And they would always come and sit on my lap or sit on my feet every time.
Well, they like you.
Well, because I love them,
Yeah.
right? And even when I volunteered with a writing program for cerebral palsy and autistic children, it was like the horses are talking to me, and I'd say to the barn people, "We got to watch this one." They wouldn't listen. Well, okay, well the horse has a stroke. Okay, whatever. And then another horse, I'm like, "He's tripping. He's fine. He's tripping. He's fine." Well, he's not. He's gone. So
Mhm.
I'm like, okay, I love the horses and I love the kids, but I can't work in a barn that doesn't listen.
Well,
You know.
I warned a parent about their daughter, and because I could see something wasn't right with this girl. She was,
Hmm.
I don't know, 12, 11 or 12. But there was something about her that wasn't right. And I
Hmm.
tried to I don't know, tried to say something to the parent, and the parent said, "Oh, she always does that." And I go, "Yeah, but it's not exactly normal." And she didn't listen. In a couple of years' time, this girl took her own life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I could see, so you and I are a bit alike in that way. We can feel and see things that
Mm-hmm.
people overlook because they're
Mm-hmm.
not actually listening. They're not actually close to people now because they're distracted. They're doing stuff. They're not actually
Mm-hmm.
being.
Mm-hmm.
You know what you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and like I'll see things in people and I'll say something and they go, no, no, it's fine. And I'll say, if I'm being told to tell you without you asking, this isn't fine,
It's something you
but
need
it's
to do.
your,
Yeah.
no, I said it's your path and your journey to go down. So
All
if
right.
they choose to not look at my, mom's having a stroke or something's happened, your path,
Mm.
right? Because that recently happened with my family. Like, I'm like, Mom, look at me. She's like, I'm fine. I'm like, you're not. But she wouldn't go to the hospital.
Mm.
So I did some energetic work on her. I got her through, but she had a stroke. Was it as bad as it could have been? No, thank goodness.
Could have been
But
worse.
if
Yeah.
but if I wasn't around, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's right. Yeah.
We're
So I
not
want
going
to.
down that road.
No, that's right. I would like to ask you now some things about your non-negotiables for your well-being, your health.
Okay.
Do you want to explain what works for you?
So my non-negotiable for as long as I can remember is I walk every day, regardless of the weather. And even though it's supposed to be spring here, we got another foot of snow. But that's okay because it's my way of saying to my body, it's time to move. It's not that I don't move throughout the day, but it's my way of saying we're going out for air, whether it's 30 below, 30 above, we're going out walking. And I try to keep it around the same time every day so people know, like, I can walk and talk, but I'm walking, right? So,
Yeah, that's a good recipe for health because it
yeah,
normalizes all your hormones
yeah.
and it helps your circulation, um, get your body
And
working, keeps it
yeah,
in
and I'm
shape.
getting better at getting to bed earlier, but
That's a problem with her. Sometimes you just get on a
yeah,
roll doing stuff and you find you're
yeah,
in bed a bit later. Yeah. So, what do you pay attention to your diet?
absolutely.
Hmm.
Um, so years ago, I was very, very sick, um, a lot heavier than I am now. And I was at a network meeting and I went to talk to a doctor nurse couple. And I said, I can't live like this anymore. Who do you know? And then they said, um, oh, there's this one doctor. And if he can't help you, there's no one in Canada. I'm like, well, then, all right. Went home that night, got up in the morning, and never thought anything of it. And I thought, well, I'll phone. And she goes, wow, you must need to see him. And I said, why? She goes, he has a cancellation. See you in 20 minutes.
Wow.
And I'm like, look down at my pajamas. Well, I guess I'm having a shower later,
Yeah.
right? And it took me 20 minutes to get to his office. And he ran some tests. And then he says, I don't know how you're sitting in my office. And I said, why? He goes, you should be dead. The only thing that's working is
What?
your heart. I
My
go,
goodness.
well, with that great news, what are we going to do?
Wow.
And so, yeah, like, at the time when people were having like heart and stroke and whatever to get the heavy metals out of their body, they'd do 1 to 3 chelation therapies a month. And I was doing 2 a week for
Okay.
months. So,
Okay. So you must have been pretty bad. Mm.
oh, I was a Walking Dead person.
Wow.
So yeah, like do I keep telling people like you gotta do this, you gotta do that? No. But if people ask me, this is what I do. This is what my body likes. I can't tell you what your body likes,
Mm,
right?
very good.
Yeah.
So my next question then, Adele, is what do you do that's bigger than you? Got any projects you're working on?
Not really at the moment. But I do tune in my meditations or my prayer time, and I listen to what's on my heart for the world. Um, yeah, like if a specific region or a specific, like, yeah, whatever I'm asked to send love to or pray on or to hold the energy of peace, then I do. But not like I haven't gone back to a community after the horses for a while. Like I haven't been called to.
Okay, but every now and then you do some
Oh
community
yeah,
stuff.
like I did the horses for a couple of years. I've done lots of charity work throughout the years. I've done lots of like community fundraising things and
Hmm.
you know, yeah.
So how does it make you feel when you're involved in those things?
It's good. And yet I still have to be cognizant of my energy
Sure.
and who's around because like sometimes the barn would be really fun and we'd be all laughing and whatever, and then other times it's like depending on who's showing up, right? Because it's volunteers, I'd be like,
Hmm.
holy, did we all have a heavy week this week? And then we'd laugh and kind of lighten up the mode, right? Because I'm like, jeepers, we're supposed to be coming here on like fun Sundays, right? Like,
Well, there you go. That was your role to cheer everyone up.
yeah. Well, and I'd see it in the horses because they wouldn't even lift their heads or just like boom, boom, boom. I'm like, no,
It's
this
like that
isn't.
energy is catchy.
Yeah.
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 So,
Cool. Well, I would like to know now if you, Adele, have got anything that you would like to leave our viewers with or our listeners.
uh,
One final message.
um, the message that's kind of coming through is be gentle with yourself. We have never been here as humanity. We are in basically a new frontier, for lack of better words, and don't feel like you need to do it alone because you're never alone.
I think that's a very good message for the times we're in at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for being on my show, Adele. I've
Thank you for
enjoyed having
having
you.
me.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time with a new person. Thank you very much for being watching this show, this wellness interviews, and thank you, Adele, for being on my show.
Thank you.